It's the goddamn aliens, I swear to God. New information being released about UFOs, UAPs, whatever you guys want to call them, but this is absolutely crazy. For many years, there's been a few videos circulating the internet that were very much recorded from a U.S. military piece of equipment, whether a ship or a jet or something like that, and just recently it was declared actually real by the government. They said that, yes, those are real. Those were taken from our ships, so now you guys don't have to guess if it's real or not. Those are indeed real. We have no idea what the hell those things are in those videos. Ever since then, the whole UFO community has gone absolutely nuts. Personally, never been a part of the UFO community. Don't believe in Bigfoot, don't believe in aliens, don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in religions or anything like that. All right, I only believe things that are real, that are in front of me, that I could see. That's how I operate. Keeps things very simple. However, we have some things that are real that we could see, and they've been verified by the government, and it's actually crazy. Now, these stories have been covered for many years. However, just recently we found out that the government is going to declassify a ton of information on UAPs, UFOs to Congress, and the whole world's going to be able to see it. And with that hyped up, it's actually just coming out next month. People that are involved in this space, whether it's fighter pilots that have seen these while they've been doing training, or whoever's been involved in this stuff in the government, there's people that are coming out that are allowed to say certain things, and they're talking about their stories and what they know and what they experienced. So yeah, UFOs, UAPs, all this kind of stuff, aliens, it's like a subject nobody ever really wants to talk about. I don't want to talk about it. It's taken me this long to feel comfortable. But just the other day, 60 Minutes aired a whole special on this subject and brought in all these witnesses, all the pilots, got high-level government people that have been involved in this to say what they know and what they think is actually coming next month from the government. Most notably, there's Dave Fravor. He's a pilot that is the guy that actually saw the Tic Tac UFO that is in the 3 videos that the government released and said that is real. In the interview, the pilots explained that they were called out off of the ship and to fly their jets out to go investigate some crafts or blips that they were seeing on radar. And when they got over to it, they actually saw this thing and it was moving super weird, unlike anything we've ever seen. And apparently there was something under the water that it was hovering over. There's several other videos not confirmed by the US government, but they are videos in like military equipment tracking form from other governments of these crafts flying above the water and then going underneath the water and then re-emerging. And it's just super weird stuff how these things are moving around. In this segment, there was other individuals that spoke up, like one guy that headed up a program for the government that was tasked with studying these things and trying to figure them out. A guy named Lou Elizondo, a former U.S. military official that led the U.S. government's effort to investigate UAPs, he says, imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13 miles an hour and can evade our radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet can still defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing. Elizondo also said, in some cases, there are simple explanations for what people are witnessing, but there are some that are not. We're not just simply jumping to a conclusion that's saying, oh, it's a UAP out there. We're going through our due diligence. Is it some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed? Is it some sort of high altitude balloon that's conducting reconnaissance? Ultimately, when you have exhausted all those what ifs and you're still left with the fact that this is in our airspace and it's real, that's when it becomes compelling and that's when it becomes problematic. In another interview they brought in, it's another fighter pilot for the Navy that said that he saw these things like every single day for a couple of years during his exercises. His name is Ryan Graves, former Navy pilot, and he comments on how often the U.S. military encounters UAPs on the East Coast, and he said every day for at least a couple of years. When asked what he thinks the objects are, he said, I would say, the highest probability is it's a threat observation program. Chris Mellon served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence for President Clinton and George W. Bush and was on staff for Senate Intelligence Committee, says, these vehicles seem to have unlimited loiter time, which we don't have. We're limited in terms of altitude. It's hard to design something that functions well at ground level that can go to 60 or 80,000 feet and then drop down to the deck or drop to 20,000 feet. And it's like a straight vertical line in seconds. Then the acceleration is far beyond anything that we're capable of. There's nothing we could build that would be strong enough to endure that amount of forces and acceleration. So it's all very interesting. It's hard not to believe these people because they're so professional. This one guy, he was a pilot for almost 20 years or something like that. There's a lot of data on camera, and with his description along with it, it really paints a picture like these things are moving in a way that our current understanding of science, it just doesn't work. And I think the most compelling part of this, it's fun, it's scary, it's interesting, is that if these are crafts that are that much more advanced than we are, and they're just checking us out and stuff, like, what are they doing here? At the end of the day, the facts are that there's things flying around our military ships and military installations, sometimes in big swarms, according to many reports, and we need to be able to address that. Like one guy said in an interview, if these things had like a Russian or Chinese flag stamped on the side of it, everyone would be freaking out. But these have no identifying marks of any kind and never have windows or anything like that. They're just these weird objects that can do these things that we can't explain. But we do need to be able to come up with some sort of something because these are in our airspace. And speaking of which, one thing I do want to mention is that these crafts are known to jam our radar. So when we're trying to track them, they're sending things that are jamming our radar. And what's really interesting about that is that technically that is an act of war. This is something that's violating that with us. It's really concerning for me personally. Anyways, guys, that's all we know for now. We're going to have to wait till next month for the full declassification. Hopefully we're going to get some videos and pictures of these things way up close and not like super blurry things from white hot radar and weird military tracking tech. I want to see one of these things. So I think the world wants to see one of these things. And I wonder what's going to happen to the world if there is something that comes out that is very substantial, that is undeniable. Really crazy stuff. Who knows? I mean, a lot of things have happened in the past couple of years, and nothing really surprised me anymore. Thank you guys very much for watching another episode of The Feed. I am Papa Stanibus. All right, put your hats on. Keep yourselves safe from the aliens, because they coming. They coming for your butts. Like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Do you believe these are aliens or not? Let me know. Let's talk about it. And I'll see you in the next video.
Nickel 6-1 Tango Roger, over.
Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Roger, there's troubleshooting.
Did you box moving target?
602.
No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at that fly!